All right.
Who we started with? Oh, Julius.
First and
Sorry, go for it.
foremost, nah, because like I want to start off first because publicly I did something I disrespected her, so I want to apologize publicly and tell her, Jojo, I apologize. I was out of my character. I should have never reacted off of emotions. I should have thought about it before I made that reaction and disrespected you and said, yeah, you're for the streets. You're not for the streets. I was just in my feelings. I was just frustrated. So I do apologize to you.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Button 91. Look, I just recently watched this video, Jojo and Julius, and I want to say this. If you're watching this, you're probably asking what really happened, because that's what you're going to come here for. Right? We're going to give you a deep breakdown. Here's what actually happened between these two, a quick summary of what happened to them. When people don't feel emotionally safe in the relationship, both Jojo and Julius did not feel emotionally safe in the relationship because both people were being invulnerable in the relationship, right? He felt like he was giving a lot, but he was noticing a lot and being hypervigilant. She was still in the midst of not really wanting to be honest about where she actually was and what she actually wanted and how she was going to move about. She didn't want him to get too close. He felt like he was getting too close too quickly. And because the communication was not over communicated, rather assumptions and judgments were made, then actions were taken that were premature or that were destructive to the relationship. And I really understand where both of them are coming from because I've been both of them. You know what I mean? I've been a person that's very avoidant, and I've also been a person who's also been someone who's been avoidant and having to try and get the person to try and open up and share more. This is a fault on both of their sides because there was a lack of over communication. When you're in a relationship, there's a need for over communication in the sense of vulnerability, being able to share how you really feel. Let me give you an example. For instance, Julius needs to be really honest and say to her, listen, look, I know that we're not in a position to be able to, say certain things right now, but, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen certain movements that you're doing, like certain things to guys or certain things on Instagram. I want to know where your head's at. Are you really in this situation? I really like you. I really want you. I really want to be able to progress this relationship forward. But I do have some apprehensions because I'm seeing certain behaviors, i.e. the Instagram is a little bit concerning because people are messaging you and saying certain things. Or, I saw a message pop up on your phone and this is making me feel a little bit insecure in this moment, you know what I mean? And what I really need from you is some reassurance if we're going to go forward that this is actually what you want. If you're still in a process of being very open, that's cool. Maybe I need to be a bit more open too, and then we can kind of see where we're at. What happens in this situation, he doesn't get that. He doesn't do that. Then for her too, she needs to be very vocal and expressive about, hey, look, I'm liking what we're building, but it's a bit quick right now, right? I need just to slow down a little bit because I like where we're going. I like you. I think you're great, but it's going a little bit too fast for me. And so I'm not able to adjust in this relationship. I'm not able to really be open about what I want to be open to. I want to slowly begin to open up to you and trust you, but that takes a little bit of time. So, give me a bit of that time as well, right? And when maybe I feel like you might be a little bit, lovey-dovey too quickly, it does make me think, do you really care about me? Do you really want me? Do you really like me? Now, neither of those people did that. Neither of them did it. And the reason why neither of them did it is because neither of them are emotionally safe. What I just described isn't just maturity, it is also a place of emotional safety. When you feel safe in yourself, when you feel safe within yourself when it comes to your emotions and your vulnerability, you will naturally put that in the world when you go into the world, right? So I know how difficult this can be to be able to share where you are in the current moment, RTT. Remember I keep saying that to you guys, real-time truth. It's hard to share RTT because in the RTT, it requires you to be extremely vulnerable and liable, and you're likely, potentially, maybe, possibly to get rejected and it to be said, okay, I hear that, but I can't work for me. But you're better in a position of being RTT, real-time truth, and sharing what you really feel in your heart with the person, right? Than actually never saying anything. Okay, so we're gonna break this video all the way down. Listen, if you're here, make sure you like, you share, subscribe. Don't change the channel because I'm turning the heat up. You know what I'm saying to you? All right, but get your pen and paper too, because we're gonna break this down for you, and there's hopefully gonna be a lot of gems in here for you as well to be able to start, really using in your own relationship as well. Okay, let's get into the video. We're gonna break this down. Okay, all right. Someone said he feels like he's insecure and feel like whatever her reasons, she was keeping her options open. They're both insecure. Because if you are keeping your options open, but you don't tell me you're keeping your options open, you're playing your game. You're both insecure. This is the whole point. Remember I told you, listen, if we choose a side when we're looking at people going into relationships, we tend to miss the full picture. When people go into a relationship, both of them have their reasons for it. And so for her to play the game of, I'm going to keep my options open, or I might go and do this, about it, she's also not being vulnerable, right? And that's an insecurity in herself that she can't be vulnerable. And he can't be vulnerable. He's hyper vigilant because he done cheated a couple of times in past relationships, and he's always watching. I've been there before, but he needs emotional regulation as well, right? So we're going to break this video down. We're going to break it down, trust me. All right, let's get into this.
The head nod, nothing back.
I
appreciate the apology.
Huh?
I said I appreciate the apology.
Oh, you appreciate it?
Like y'all broke up because that's what they assuming from what he posted. And so yeah, somebody like commented under his photo and was like, y'all broke up, and his reply was, yes, you for the streets. That stemmed from a conversation, kind of a conversation earlier that day, where he just woke up and chose violence. Like he messaged me on Instagram about like a picture that I have posted, and was pretty much going off about how I try to appear single and I could go live my single life. He'd rather have somebody who doesn't like keep the relationship private because that's how he feels. And it pretty much went from there that I'm just seeking attention from these people from social media.
All right, let's pause it right here. First and foremost, okay, all right, the problem that you have here is that he spoke out of turn and was not regulated in his emotions in the way that he delivered certain things, right? Now, he may have felt some type of way about the fact that she may have not been as closed off as he wanted her to be, but what he needed to do in that moment was to regulate himself. He needed to give himself a minute or two just to be able to breathe and let the anger rise and pass. Anger is not a problem. It is the action we take from the anger that is an issue. Anger in itself is not a problem. Do not fight your anger because it's not a problem. The Bible says, be angry, but sin not. Anger isn't an issue. Anger lets you know that your boundaries have been violated in some shape or form. But the problem that we have here is that he then goes on, acts on that emotional arousal. Emotional arousal meaning your emotions are stirred up in that moment. You're hyper, you're energized with your emotions right now. You're hurt, all right? And in that place, you make a decision that is not going to benefit you long term, but it will benefit you short term. And that's why we need to be emotionally regulated so that we can make sensible decisions in that immediate moment and then be able to go forward. Sometimes we need to sit on something for a few hours and let the thing pass and then make a sensible decision. Sometimes it's as a day or two to let the frustration and the anger you feel go past, process it, hear yourself, speak to yourself, and then move. Here's what happens. People don't like sitting with their anger. And this is where the first place we're going to start from. Many of us have silent anger that erupts when we get into relationships. And we implode or explode. In this moment, he exploded because he actually did something externally. He went out and said, she's for the streets. Yet you were the one caught in her. So she wasn't really for the streets like that, right? So the big point that we have here, is that the first mistake that he made was that he externalized the anger in an action that was not beneficial for him long term. See, what is the struggle with this is when we're talking about emotional safety, and I'll put this on the screen so you guys can also see it. Like I said, I'm here to teach and make sure that we all can see this appropriately, right? The problem with this that we have, emotional safety, is this. Do you honor and express your sadness, your anger, and your fear? And there's another word called disgust, also another emotion, right? And the reason I'm saying that is to honor your anger sometimes is to sit in your anger and have a conversation like, what is really making me angry? What am I really pissed off about? Is she confirming a projection that I have about myself? Like, am I really angry about what she's doing? Or am I angry about what I perceive it to be? Or am I angry about what belief system I have that I feel like her behavior is confirming about me? And I was like, yo. And sometimes we don't want to sit there and have that conversation with self because that's a scary place to be. It's scary to be in a place where you have to sit with yourself and go, okay, I'm angry, but what am I really angry about? Okay, I'm angry about what they did, but what does that really mean? Like if you've coached with me and you've done some coaching with me, you know I talk about this all the time with you. I'll talk about this with you all the time where I say, what's really behind that? Is there something behind the anger? Is there fear behind the anger? The anger is not an issue, but is there something behind the anger like fear? And the fear of I'm going to get taken advantage of. The fear of my needs are not going to be met. The fear of you're going to disrespect me and I'm going to get hurt. Is there that fear behind it that's also pushing that anger to the forefront and to the point where you can't sit with your anger and go, go, let me process this, but rather let me do something. Because calling them out, saying she for the streets on big boy internet ain't helping nobody. Okay?
And
So, what was the picture? Was it?
yeah, it's a picture on my page. He sent me one of my photos. It's me in a swimsuit, and it's a picture from 2022 actually that's pinned on my page, and it's been pinned since 2022. And so he sent me that picture and was like, I see you liking these comments from these men or whatever. That tells me all about you. And it went on from there of like, you want to appear single, you go ahead and live your single life. You go ahead and be single. So I was like, yeah, you're a little crazy, huh? But
Okay.
yeah, and it went from there.
Got it. Okay.
All right, let's pause it. So this situation about the picture that she posted on Instagram, she had a picture on there. He's going to explain, obviously, what happened as well. So she lets us know that the picture that was posted, he then commented about, if you're going to do this, you're going to be for the streets. Now, she didn't tell the full story because really and truly, he was talking about the comments underneath the picture, which I think is very, I think both of them do this as well. Both of them do this where they know the full story, but tell it from a particular angle. Because she knows that the picture wasn't necessarily the issue. It's what was coming with the picture. It was the comments underneath the picture that you were liking. That was the issue. As well, so we're gonna play that as well, right? I'm gonna get into that.
Okay, so I know when you guys came on the catch up, he did ask you to be his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Now, were Instagram photos or something that you guys discussed that were like boundaries possibly for him? Like maybe he was like, I don't want my girl having bikini photos, or is that something that was discussed that could possibly lead to this?
No,
'cause I know there are some people who they're like, no,
they like,
my girl, yeah.
No, it wasn't discussed. It came up before in another conversation. Like I feel like the same picture. And I even said, like, if this was a problem for you, like, you should have said this a while ago. But he said, well, I've been had you on Instagram. It wasn't a problem. It was, I guess, in the moment, it was whatever the situation was that made it. Like, the actual picture is not. But it doesn't feel that way to me. Like, obviously, you probably have a problem with this type of photo being on the internet.
Now, again, she doesn't actually elicit what the actual issue is with the photo, what he's described. Now, he's gonna describe it because I watched the whole thing. He's gonna say it. What the actual issue was. So she keeps focusing, and they both do this because later on he does the exact same thing when she talks about her issue. He focuses on the wrong thing. It's like, no, it's about the meaning of what's been given to that thing. And this is where people actually argue a lot of times because it's the meaning we apply to something that we feel what we feel. When you do a behavior, I have to imply a meaning to what you did to make me feel the way I feel. Let me give you an example. If you don't text me for 2 weeks or 2 months, but if I don't like you, I'm not going to apply any meaning to that apart from you're just not there. But when I like you, I may imply a different meaning to that action. That's the exact same action because it has a different meaning to me because of the way I'm perceiving it. And so my feelings are going to be dictated by my perceivement of that particular behavior. Okay? So that's really important. What meaning have you applied to that scenario or that issue or the action that the person has done, right? And I'm starting to learn that so much as well myself, that sometimes I apply meanings to things and then I don't actually communicate that to the other party. Because here's what you're meant to do. Once you apply a meaning, you must then communicate with your partner to say, hey, I'm applying this meaning to what I'm seeing. Is this what it actually is? And give them time to respond to you. And say, hey, maybe that's not what I was trying to do. I didn't realize that was what it was like for you. Because what happens is we make a narrative in our head and then we run with it and then the actions proceed from the action, from the tape that's playing in our mind and we run with it. And that's where we talk about emotional safety because we don't feel safe enough to go, can I be honest with you? This is what I'm applying as a meaning to what I've just saw as a behavior. But we won't do that because we don't feel safe enough to be so vulnerable to tell the person in RTT, real-time truth, that actually this is the applied meaning I'm getting from you posting this picture and you posting this picture in a bikini. This is the meaning I'm applying to it. What meaning are you applying to it? It's a real thing.
Okay. All right. So right now as we're speaking, you two are not together.
No.
I feel like when there's lies being told, they got to be addressed. So as far as like the picture thing, right? Mm-hmm. She's saying like, oh, I'm trying to make it seem like it's a problem or, oh, you kind of crazy for real. First of all, I didn't see your Instagram pictures and none of that. We matched and all that. So when we was on the dinner, we went out to eat. Oh, like, oh, let me see your Instagram. She was resistant. Like, why you want to see my Instagram? Let me see your Instagram. Quickly. Oh, I'll show you here. Here's my Instagram. I'm not even active on here. Oh, okay. She see like I ain't really have no followers like that. Like, oh, what's wrong with you? Social media is not my life. I live real life. Like, you feel me? Do real things. So I don't live for social media. So she
Now let's pause right there. He does say he doesn't live on social media, but you had a YouTube that you wanted to get into, that you put her on. So you know, I hear what you're saying, but just be aware of the fact that you started a whole YouTube and you wanted her to be on it. So you can't really say you don't live for the social media. We pretty much all do. If you have social media, you're living for social media in some sense of the word, right? There's some shorts to that, right? But then, okay, so he obviously then is going to explain about this picture situation, which I think is very interesting and very important. Can we get both sides?
like, oh, okay. So boom, I seen a picture. She finally showed me her Instagram. I seen the picture. I'm like, oh, I was like, okay. But I wasn't tripping because it's already been posted and all that. I met you after the fact. So how can I trip?
Mm-hmm.
Show air, boom. Niggas is thirst trapping on her like, oh, damn, you got a nice body. Woo, woo. She liking all those pictures. A girl had commented like, oh, I'm so happy for you and Juju. I hope y'all work out. She skipped that one. And she liked the next one where the dude was like, oh, you got buns. Like, woo, woo, hit me up. She liking that one though. So I'm like, damn, like, what's the how you say it? What's the T? Like,
Okay, so here's what's, and this is why it's important, okay? All right, this is why it's important, all right, to get the full story and both sides, because she made it about the picture being posted, and he's saying it's not about the picture being posted, it's about what comments were actually being liked. Now she smiled because she knew exactly what it was. Let's be honest, like, and that's why I said both of them are playing this game where they are invulnerable, and because they don't want to be vulnerable, this is what ends up happening. This game that tends to happen, and so now he's explaining that the issue is not the picture; it is the comments that are being commented by men that are thirst trapping, saying "whoop de whoop de woo, your body looking amazing, your finger looking this," which is actually sexual attention. Like it's actually sexual attention. And so her liking those photos is sending a message. But the question is, what message is it sending to you? For me, it's sending a message that, you know what, that maybe you're still open. That's what he has to communicate. That's actually what he has to communicate. He has to communicate to her that, listen, hey, can I be honest with you? For me, this is a boundary issue. When you like these photos in this particular way, okay, when you like these photos in this particular way, when you like and it seems to be like you're liking certain photos, right? It is showing to me that you are open still because you're accepting the attention sexually by these comments that are being made about your body. That's what it means to me, right? And it's making me feel uncomfortable. This needs to be expressed in that way, that this is now becoming a boundary issue for me, because for me personally, I don't operate in this space in this way, right? So this is not to blame anybody, okay? It's actually to say we need to have a conversation about what it really means. Now, she already had those pictures posted. So what he's saying is there's been a change. The moment the show came on, now those pictures have a different meaning because the men are now coming in and the men are now liking the photo, but not liking the photo only. They're making comments that are about her body. And instead, what he should have been expressing is, hey, in future, I'd rather just not like the photos. Like, that tells me that you actually like the attention. That's what it means to me when you do that. And when I apply that meaning, I feel that you're not really respecting me in that space. I don't feel respected. And if I don't feel respected, then that causes me to want to move away from you. You get what I'm saying to you? It's a conversation like that. You get what I'm saying to you? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, El Cid. I hear you. You know what I'm saying to you? But that's because, again, the photo was on there before they got together. So, yeah.
why you liking these pictures, but if somebody's saying something positive about us, you can't like that picture. So boom, I take a mental note. Let's rewind time. On a date, we just match whatever what. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, you probably already got a rotation or whatever. I can't trip. We was eating at a place where you gotta like scan the barcode, and then the menu come up on the phone. So we looking at the menu on her phone. Boom, a nigga hit her up. Notification pop up. When I see it, I'm like, oh, okay. But I can't get mad. Why? Because we just met, we just matched. We're not in a serious relationship right now. So cool. So in my mind, I take a mental note. I ain't say nothing, but I take a mental note like, okay, she got a rotation. Cool. But
now, can I pause it here? Because I think it's really a powerful situation, right? He can get mad. And he can feel jealous. I want you to understand something, right? That emotional safety also includes jealousy and envy. I think a lot of times we don't like to talk about jealousy and envy because it makes us feel weak. Like, we can express our anger, frustration, but the reality of the situation is she has a rotation that you might have felt she had. And when you saw the picture pop up, what did you actually feel? you felt some sense of jealousy. Now, here's what needs to happen, and this is the most scariest thing. I can't lie to you. It is scary to be in this place, to be able to express these feelings, because none of us really feel safe when we express this feeling. Here's what we need to express. You know, I do understand that we're not in a serious relationship. Okay? All right? I do understand. Yeah, I do understand that we're not in a serious relationship. But I won't lie. I do feel a little bit jealous, you know, knowing that you got a little bit of rotation going on. You know what I mean? I do feel a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie to you. I do feel a bit jealous that you have a rotation on. I wanted to share that so that you just know where I stand with it, and that's how I feel about it. That's all. And leave it there. See, what you don't realize is this, right? When you are secure in yourself, you're not going to feel any sense of embarrassment or shame when you share those feelings. Now, in that sharing, what you're allowing the other person to also do is also be able to see how they're going to react to you. If they're going to be like, well, I don't really care if you're jealous. Well, the other person going to be like, you know what? I appreciate you sharing that. Like, okay, cool. What you're going to realize is a lot of us are broken people, and we don't need to be in a relationship. Okay? When I say don't need to be in a relationship, what I mean is that we're not ready to be emotionally safe. And so you sharing that and being safe within yourself actually shows the other person that, you know what, I'm comfortable with my feelings. I don't mind sharing them. If you feel some type of way, then maybe you're not the right kind of person for me. You get what I'm saying to you? This is something that I started to learn, especially this year as well, that sharing even the most difficult feelings in those moments are really quintessential. It frees you. Because once you say this, look, I can't lie to you, the thing popped up and I felt a little bit jealous. I won't even lie to you. You know, I was in dinner. I felt a little bit jealous. You know what I'm saying to you? I did feel a little bit jealous. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? You're not saying that you're not saying the person should do anything about it. You're just saying that I felt a little bit jealous. I felt a little bit of jealousy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt a little bit jealous in that moment. You know? But once you keep it cool, we're not saying have a meltdown. There's a difference. Saying how you feel versus having a meltdown is where you're going to have an issue. If you say you're jealous and have a meltdown, we are going to have an issue. But the reality of the situation is you saying it and just look, I ain't going to lie to you. I feel like, you know, I felt a little bit jealous. When I saw the message come out, I can't lie to you, I feel a little bit jealous. Obviously, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're getting to know each other. So I just felt a little bit jealous in that moment. That's all. Yeah. Paul, and you move. Move on. You know what I'm saying to you? Move on. And I say this because it will get you to a place, okay? All right? it will get you to a place. If you're saying it in a way that not meltdown, it's just how you felt. So I just felt a little bit jealous. Yeah. No, because I kind of like you, so I can't lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Some of you are saying swallow the jealousy. I hear it. You can swallow the jealousy if you want to. I'm not. Listen, I'm just saying live your honest, authentic truth. And I'm telling you, people will move. I'm telling you, live your authentic truth and it will give you so much more power. Because we're so used to trying to hide something and try to stop something that this is how we think it's normal. But the reality of the situation is, my guy, hey, it popped up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt a little bit jealous in that moment. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt jealous, but you know what? You know, I'm liking you, so I can't lie to you. That's the realness. It's like, yo, I felt a little bit jealous, but it's only because I like you so much. That's all. Cool. And you move it on. Not I'm jealous and yeah, we're now you're trying to tie the person down. No. You're just saying how you felt. You know what I mean? How you felt. I don't think it's even their first date that actually happened.
I'm still moving like shit. I'm about to show you I'm your best option. I'm the one you need to choose up on. So time go by, whatever, boom, we hang out again. Mind you, when that notification popped up.
And remind yourself also, they done pop the balloon. So it's a really different kind of scenario too.
She kind of like gave me that side eye. So boom, we hanging out again. Fast forward time, we hanging out again. Her phone go off. And we both right there. Her phone go off, but ain't no notification pop up. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, oh, okay. So she turned the little notification thing off. Why would she do that? So cool. Take another mental note. As things go on, things progress, I'm seeing things. And then like, okay, then the show aired. Like she texted me like, oh, do you want your balloon back? I'm just waking up out of my sleep. Like I'm just about later. I ain't know what she was talking about. So I'm finally waking up. And then I came to my common sense, like, okay, the show aired, everybody watching the show, we trying to see like how he was on the show. So I already knew what she was talking about when she said, oh, do you want your balloon back? She was talking about Zola Stone, the girl with the white dress. When I had asked her, like, oh, like, no, you got your balloon back. So she like, oh, the show ain't called Pop the Balloon to Find Love no more. The show is called Pop the Balloon and Do You Want Your Balloon Back? Like, whoop. So I laughed it off thinking she playing. So she dead ass serious, like, oh, so I really wasn't the one you want. You really wanted her. I'm like, bro, like, no. Like, what are you talking about? Like, bro, I kept hearing about Zola for a minute to the point I'm like, bro, I don't even know her. So why you keep tripping over her? Like, talking down on this girl and all that. Like, oh, yeah, this the one you really want. Like, talking crazy. I'm like, first of all, you doing too much, bro. I matched with you. I'm trying to get to know you. Can we move forward, please? So after all that going on, boom. So I'm thinking her last relationship, 2016. She tell everybody.
Now let's pause it right there. Something he just mentioned is, that's probably a better word, Rennie. I like that. That's probably a better way. I like that way you just said it. I feel the type of way is probably a better way of saying it. Yeah. I definitely hear that. I definitely hear that as well. Especially if you saw the message. You saw the message. So I like that wording. I feel the type of way. That's another way of saying it. Yeah, I definitely hear that. So he just said something really powerful, right? He spoke about the fact that she felt some jealousy or some type of way and insecurity in the moment when it came to watching the show back, and watching the show back. And so when he watched the show back, he saw that she also then was saying to him, you wanted the other girl. What does that tell us? Well, it tells us that she also was feeling some type of way. She was also insecure in that moment. And again, this is a key moment to also express how you feel. Look, we're missing moments here because what's going to happen is you're going to say something. Okay, you're going to say, if you're not going to say something, you're going to do something. So rather than saying or do something that's incorrect, say how you really feel. RTT. Look, she could have said, listen, I just watched the show back. Can I be honest with you? And this is what I'm trying to say to you. Many of us won't do this because we are actually scared. Like, and we'll say it's too soon, but the reality of the situation is you're just not comfortable. You wouldn't do it then and you wouldn't do it later on. We're not comfortable. And so the reality of the situation, when she watched the show and watched it back and was like, hold on a minute. Did you want the other girl? Now, this should have been a conversation. I'm like, hey, can we have a conversation? I just watched the show back, right? And I just saw that, in the Pop the Balloon, that it looked like you actually wanted her. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, this might not be a place where you just have to be saying like, hey, look, can I be honest with you? I want some reassurance. Now, many people won't want to say, I want some reassurance. Right? Because it feels too vulnerable and it feels like I'm being needy, quote unquote. But like I said, when you are emotionally safe and secure, these conversations are not something that you need to run from. They're things you need to run to. And so in that moment, what she really needed to do was actually just say, hey, I do feel a little bit insecure in this moment, or even feel a little bit jealous of the fact that there was a connection between you and the other girl. And actually, I'm feeling a little bit unsure about us. And because I'm not feeling sure about us, I'm not able to be able to be myself. And I'm telling you this because later on in the video she says, I never really felt secure in this relationship. Well, because nobody was being honest. Right? No one's really being honest. And so in that moment, what she really needed to do was just be able to be open and say, hey, can I be honest with you? This is how I'm really feeling about the situation. I feel like in that moment, right? I feel like in this moment that actually it looked like you wanted her. Is this what you really wanted? Like I need some reassurance at this moment that this is actually where you're trying to go to. And then if he goes, oh, you're insecure, then you know that's not the right kind of person for you. Again, how people handle your vulnerability is so important. Do they handle your vulnerability and dash it in the bin? Or do they handle your vulnerability with care and appreciation? And so you will know somebody if they're really for you when you're actually vulnerable and saying to them, this is actually how I feel. You know what I'm saying to you? This is actually how you feel. Right? So, like I said, when you live in your total authenticity, I keep saying this, you can sleep with someone on a first date, the first time you met them, but you can't tell them how you feel on the first date. This doesn't make no sense. We can sleep with people on a very first date, but you can't tell them how you feel on the first date. It's about security over your emotions. If I feel like, this is making me feel a little bit some type of way, I'm going to tell you this, it makes me feel some type of way. I can't lie to you. I didn't even realize. Rather than holding it, I used to hold everything. It's like, well, no, I just have to say that it made me feel some type of way. I can't lie to you, but I don't need to do anything about it. I'm not going to have a meltdown. I'm just saying it makes me feel some type of way. Right? If it's a first date and someone kisses someone else, are we going to say, well, it's only the first date. We ain't together, so I ain't going to say nothing. You're going to say something. Why? Because it's extreme. But the reality of the situation is when something affects you, right, we have to learn how to be able to explain and say something as well, right? And I don't think it was that, even if it was their first date, they have been speaking before that though. Because remember, they've gone to pop the balloon, they've been speaking as well. So there's some aspects that are happening. On your first date, you got people popping up on your phone. On your first date, he's asking to see your Instagram. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's actually the first date either. So this is the whole point. So You know what I mean? So they have some level of time between that aspect. You know what I'm saying to you? And so again, it's all about the conversations that we're having, because again, it's about emotional safety. And when you feel so secure and safe, I promise you, it don't matter if it's the first date or the last one, the way you're going to react is going to be so much more different than trying to go, I don't want to show nothing. I don't want to show you my weakness. Brother, I'm strong when I show my emotions, and I'm strong when I talk about my emotions. But I used to always feel like if I show my emotions or say nothing, I'm crazy. No, I need to be regulated. I can't go mad and start smashing things up and cussing and shouting. Rather, I can say, hey, I just saw that. What does that mean for you? I can ask questions. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? We're talking about people saying the first date. There's people saying the first date, listen, I knew the one. You know what I mean?
Her last relationship, 2016.
Right.
She was in a situation with a dude like a week before the show. So I'm like, damn, like, why you come on the show then? So I ended up finding out she didn't come on the show to find love. She came on the show to like get views on her so she could start her dancing career, or not start her dancing career, but get more views on her dancing career. So I'm like, damn, that's fucked up to me, because I'm really on here genuinely trying to find love. Like, if you ain't really want that, you could have just told me like, look, man, I'm just trying to get my clout up, bro. I don't really want nothing serious. So I'm over here looking like a clown, like, oh, this the one. Thank you, God. Oh, I'm about to go, man. Because like, let's be honest. Let's look at the receipts. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Let's look at the receipt. Y'all see me on the catch up, on the show, everything. I'm bigging her up every time. Like, man, this is my girl. Like, man, I love her. This is an amazing woman.
Yeah, big me up on that.
She ain't reciprocating none of that energy back, and people seeing that, they're like, damn, like, oh, you like her more than she like you. Like, we can see that. Like, you gonna get hurt. Like, whoa. I'm like, man, I don't know. Y'all know what y'all talking about. Like, man, she rocking with me. The whole time she ain't rocking with me, right? She think it's cool to still go on her date with her exes while you in a relationship. Where we do that at? You thought you had a sucker. Yeah, you see me on the show talking all this love stuff. Oh, you thought you had a sucker. No, I really came from that club. Like, you ain't never about to play me like that. So
this is where the interesting gets part, right? Because I think this is really powerful. Because also, this mindset of I'm not about to get played, I know this energy. Okay? I know this one. I know this one. I know where this one is. I'm not about to get played is either you are a player or you have those dismissive traits, right? The avoidant traits. Because in reality, right, of course, whenever you hear I'm not the one, I can't get played, it's because you've played the game yourself. You know, not necessarily that person, but you know the game. So you can see the markers before it's time. The problem is that we make judgments that lead to actions concerning that. And I know, this is the hardest part for me, because I play the game. So don't ever think you can play me. But the fact of the matter is, I still need to do my due diligence by asking questions. What does this mean to you? Now, I can know what it means to me. I know what it may mean universally. But what does it really mean to you? See, if I know how to catch you, I don't need to force it. I can still say, okay, I'll take your truth for what it is, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The reality is that we all have especially people that are avoidance, have fear of being taken advantage of, played, them being rejected, okay, or abandoned or betrayed, right? So what you'll see is hyper vigilance. Okay, what you start seeing is hyper vigilance. What does that mean? Well, we start paying attention to every single detail in that space so that we don't get played. But it actually stems from our childhood, because in the place of an emotionally neglected child, in that place, you might have had to be very observant of your environment in order to in order to survive, in order to be able to live your life. You might have had to pay attention because maybe there was an angry parent or a parent that was not necessarily consistent with the love and the care they give. So you have to pay attention, and you'll know, because there's many of us who are very hyper vigilant that you even see the eyebrow move, and you're like, oh, I saw that. Even through text, you can feel the energy shift. I'm one of those people. Okay? I'm one of those people that, listen, it's not, you don't have to even, I don't even have to hear your voice. I can tell by the way you're texting, your energy shifted. But it's also a part of hypervigilance. Right? It's also part of hypervigilance. And sometimes you're jumping ahead of the gun because what you're about to do is you're trying to stop yourself from being betrayed, abandoned, or rejected. And sometimes you can jump ahead of it, and actually that's not what's happening. And it can make you read situations falsely. Now, I do think a lot of times you're correct. A lot of times your intuition is actually right. There is something changing in the atmosphere, right? Someone might call it empath. I call it hypervigilance. as well, right? There is something changing the atmosphere, but you do need to do your diligence by asking questions. What is happening to that person? Because there may be a reason as to why the energy shifted, rather than thinking and internalizing it and saying it's because of me that it shifted and it's moved, or you don't like me so it shifted and it's moved, or you don't want me so it shifted and it's moved. And I know this for a fact. You know what I'm saying to you? I know how hard it is to do that. I know how hard it is not to be hyper vigilant and move that way. I know.
So how I know this, right? So she go on brunch with her friends. Boom. When she go with her homegirls, she say homegirls. When it's a dude involved, she'll say my friend. And I go more in depth like, oh, what friend? She's like, oh, my coworker or my ex-coworker. Your coworker, your ex-coworker. Like, what are we talking about? So look, tell you, I'm so smart with it, right?
Now pause. He may be right again. I can't lie to you. I'm one of those people as well too. I've noticed that about women as well, but it's not all women that do it. But I've noticed about women, even men do this, right? But I've heard it with women because I'm obviously a man. He's right. I've heard this, right? Where a woman will say, "I'm going out with my girls," but when they're not going out with her girls, they won't say girls. They'll say, "I'm going out with my friend." That's the game. You know what I mean? But that's not every person. Some people, that's not how they think. But again, I do understand where he's coming from, but it doesn't mean every person. Okay, all right. So I see what he's seeing, and I definitely understand why he's paying attention. The extra part now is to have a conversation. It is not to make a judgment and then act. You have to have a conversation. If you act before the conversation, you're making a judgment prematurely, and that is where we ruin relationships and self-sabotage. Even if you believe it's true, you still need to have the conversation.
She on brunch with her friends. I FaceTime her. She answered when she with her homegirls. But supposedly when you out with your coworker, I hit you, you don't answer the phone. She FaceTime me back when she done with the little date, and then she in the car like, like what you doing? What you doing, Stink? Ooh. I take a mental note. So all this is building up. I'm taking all mental notes, right? So I'm like,
So again, as you see, he's been hyper vigilant because he's taking all the notes from what he's seeing. Okay, which is fair. I get it. Listen, you got to protect yourself out here in a dating game. If you leave yourself open, you can get done out here. So I'm not mad at that fact. Again, once more, okay? I want to make sure that it's about communication, though.
When Zola Stone said that about me, like, you look like a player, and I said in my early 20s, yeah, I was. So what I know all the little player shit, all the little people when people play games. I know all, like, why? Because I was the one that used to be doing it. So when you playing games like that, it's just like, it's a disservice to me because it's like, man, I'm really out here trying to love you. Mind you, she used to being single. She ain't never been in no serious relationships. Our relationships failed. Why is that? All the relationships you mean to tell me all these dudes you've been with, ain't none of them wanted to make you their girlfriend, their wife, or none of that. Why?
So, okay, Jojo.
Now, that part is the problem that I get where he was going, but why did he go there? Okay. All right. Why did we go there? Okay. Why did we go there? Now, the reality of the situation is he wasn't wrong again, okay? Because she was with a male friend. But the reality is, again, it's got to be a conversation, okay? Got to be a conversation.
Yeah.
There's a lot there to take in.
And I wish he didn't go to the part where you never had a boyfriend or a serious relationship. It just seems a bit hurtful.
Many more, too.
Okay, yeah.
And of course, he's obviously very hurt because he can't even look at the camera. He's very much hurt. He's very much invested. He's very much hurt, and I definitely understand that. Even Arlette looks a bit,
First things first. Did you come on the show to find love?
Yes.
Bro, relax. You're doing too much. Relax.
It's crazy because it's so funny. When I first, just answering y'all first question about like how it began to him saying out for the streets, honestly, I was trying to keep it cute. And I did not say everything because I was trying to throw him, I was trying not to throw him under the bus too much. But to hear what's coming out of his mouth right now is really beyond me. So anyways, if you're going to quote me, what I said when coming, I said I was open to finding love and networking with the people I would like meeting. I met some great people. So I was thought I was successful in both because I got a match and I met some good people at the show that I still communicate with to this day. So I definitely didn't go for clout. If I did, you would see my page look that way. You never seen me post about, oh, I was on Pop the Balloon, come follow me. I'm a dancer as well. Like, my page has been how it's been since I've been Jojo the Dancer on Instagram. Please don't try to play me like that. You're the one who immediately hopped on YouTube, but I'm the one who was looking for clout. You had a 2-day dating situationship with somebody who you're still getting to know, and you pulled out the camera immediately on the first date. Like, please don't try me, Julius, for real.
Now, let's pause it right there, because this is key information. Okay, and I said this in the group chat. It's never too soon. It's just the wrong person. Oftentimes it's the wrong person. The reality of the situation is, are you too soon, or is it too soon for that person? Because like I said, people get married in 3 months. Some people some people know from the very jump how much they like each other. Some people are talking for 8 or 9 hours on the first time they ever met somebody. Why is that? It's not necessarily that you're too soon. You might be too soon for that person. So the reality of the situation is, most of the time, okay, is that it's too soon for that particular person, which is why the other person should just let you know, hey, it's a bit soon for me. We're doing a lot of these things that's too soon for me. Have a conversation. Let the person know, right? But what she's saying right now is very important, okay? She said, listen, he threw the camera in my face very early on. Did she have a conversation? Because if you're not having a conversation, your silence is going to end up being consent in this place. When I mean that, and I mean that also in the physicality, I ain't talking about sex, okay? All right? But I mean this in the sense of the silence, okay? All right? The silence around that could be that you're not really for it. We're saying that, but the guy and the girl, he proposed to a girl on Pop the Balloon. How long did they know each other? It was very fast. So when we're talking about being fast, no, it's not fast. It's fast for that person, which is why people need to communicate and have a conversation. Because otherwise, people can drag it for a year and say it's too fast. But we'll say, oh no, that's not too fast. No, but why is it not too fast? The reality of the situation is that the reality of the situation is it's too fast for that person. That person must communicate and say, hey, I can't lie to you. Things are happening a bit too quickly for me. Because now you're telling us on national television or national YouTube, it's too late. This should have been discussed at the point and told him, listen, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to do the video. I don't want to do the YouTube channel right now. I want to get to know you and keep it there. I want to just keep getting to know you first so that we know where we're at. But if we don't say that and he keeps pushing, right? And of course, she obviously has to read the room a little bit as well if she's giving him any indications. It's very difficult. Yeah, very difficult. So on her too, she needs to communicate and say, oh, it's going too fast for me. It's going too fast for me.
And to go back from, I'm taking my little notes because you talking real crazy about the comment, liking people's comments. You can go right now to my page and see people. I'm so happy for you. I love that. I'm like. Thank you to the people I know who said. I'm like, thank y'all for supporting. You know, I've liked every single comment. It's not just, oh, the men who have something to say about my body. I'm liking that. And then if somebody says something about Julius, I'm skipping past it. You can literally go to my page right now and see that I've liked every comment. And I replied to the people who, at least the people who I know, that's saying, love this for you, sis. I'm like, thank you. Like, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. And speaking of going off my notes, speaking of when we were out at the dinner and you got a scan and you say you saw my phone with notification of somebody hitting me up, we had that conversation. Say we didn't. That was somebody whose hair I was about to do. I even after the hair appointment, I showed you I did their locks. Now you acting like this was somebody I used to date. Please don't play with me. And you gonna say,
okay, so to that text that popped up, she's saying it was a hair appointment. Well, this is a clear factual issue. This is a clear factual issue. If we look at the text, will we see that it was a text about hair? It's a factual issue. This is factual, so we can actually prove this. Which obviously none of them bring up the text, so we don't know. But the factual issue is this: if we bring up the text, we will know whether that text was about hair or not. There's a very clear line. So if it's not about the hair and it's about something else, we've got a problem. And if it is about hair, you've jumped the gun. It's a very factual thing we can check. Okay? So, you know what I'm saying to you? You know what I'm saying to you? So the question is, what did you see pop up? You just saw a name and what did it say? Now, I don't know anybody else, but he never told us what the text actually said. Okay, so we don't really know. He never told us what the text said. He just said I saw a man pop up or whatever, woo, and she gave him a side eye. That's what he said. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what was said in the text. But she's saying that it was a hair appointment.
I feel like it's okay to go on dates with exes. When did I go on a date with an ex? When did this happen? My ex, child. And then back to Zola. First of all, never talk bad about her. Ain't gonna talk bad about her now. What I did say, I definitely said, you want her to get her balloon back? It was giving you was a little salty that she wanted to pop yours. And if you was feeling her, I would have had rather you told me, like, is this who you really wanted? Or you was kind of salty, she popped it. So you was like, well, I kind of guess I got to go with Jojo. We had that conversation too. I know what I said and I can stand on it. What you're not going to do is sit here and lie on my name, like I said to you in real life. Two, you really came up with this brunch stuff. Like I'll go to brunch with my friends. If I say I'm with my friends, I'm with them. And there's no such thing as you FaceTime me and I didn't answer. Please stop playing with me. My friends have tagged me in the post while I'm out on brunch. You've watched my story. You've seen the friends I was with. When was I out
Yeah,
with
that
that?
one time. Yeah, that's the time you answered, right?
Since you've known me, I've been to brunch with my friends twice. When my friends wanted to celebrate me for my birthday because I went to Arizona, that was a solo trip. When I got back, me and two friends went to brunch. And then I did another brunch that you also knew about. And you saw who I was with because you watched my story. I see you watch it. And you saw the people who I was with. And to say that, and we addressed how if it's a male and I know they're my friend.
Now, this is very important. I think she addressed quite a few things here as well, okay? So I think there's a bit of mixture on both sides, right? I think there's insecurity on both sides that are starting to play a little bit of a role here as well, right? And so that's interesting. She said, obviously, yeah, you're right. So she said, obviously, he claimed that she only likes comments from guys, and she likes all the comments. Locks chick said she likes all the comments as well, okay? So, well, have to wait and see. Okay.
For me to say he or, put that gender on it, I told you in text, I have the receipts. Yeah, I didn't say the gender because I don't know how you will react. Because he has a hard time believing that I can actually have friends that are males and that's it. And
so, again, and this is why I said there's a mixture of the two of them because what's happening here? I didn't tell you the person's male because I felt like you would, that you would react in an angry manner. In a certain way, but now you're not being honest. So now what's going to happen is it's going to look some type of way, and he also has to look at it as well. Is my reaction too much when I'm getting told some of these truths? Because like I said, it's a balancing act between two people. So if he's got a particular volatile reaction, when I say volatile, it does not mean that you fight or anything, but rather your reaction is very fast and it can be a very hard one. She may feel like telling you this information doesn't benefit her in that space because she feels that the reaction is going to be one that's not nice, right? But she also too, in a sense, now is now not being very honest. Now it's going to look sneaky. Now it's going to look like now it's going to look like you're doing the very thing that you said you didn't want to actually do. So now, this is why I'm saying again, communication is important, right? Because even if you now tell the person, you've got to look at it from a perspective of, okay, now it's going to look like I'm doing the very thing I said I wasn't doing. And at the same time for him, he's got to be looking at going, okay, how do I make sure that next time that I react in a way that's going to make it comfortable and safe for you to be able to tell me this information, right? What do you want to see me do that's going to make it comfortable for you to be able to tell me this truth? Okay?
And there was a friend, the male, he's a comedian. He had a comedy show. He actually canceled it, so I didn't get to go. But nevertheless, I was going to support him. Like, so where did you even come up with, oh, that was the some guy she was about to go on a date with? Like, you made that up. You knew it was a comedy show. I told you. And then what's this note right here? Relationships. Where did I write that down from? I ain't never been in no relationship, or I haven't experienced a real relationship because my last official, I'm your boyfriend, you my girlfriend, was 2016. And why hasn't anything worked? No, I don't care about throwing you under the bus because you was in a 4 to 5 year relationship. Yes. Did it work out for you? No. So you had all that time and it still didn't work out. So how does that, how you going to compare that to, oh, I've been dating and it hasn't worked out? You were actually in a relationship for years and it still didn't work out. You cheated multiple times in that relationship. That's what you told me. Oh, it's a joke.
I mean, listen, if you're going to throw her underneath the bus, she's going to throw you in the bus as well. I understand it. Look, and again, the reality of the situation is, right, and I do understand what she's saying here, which is that you're going to judge me for not having a relationship since 2016, yet you've been in a serious one and you've been cheating. We ain't no better than each other, right? We ain't no better than each other, and that's the key part of the situation. And so if you were cheating multiple times in that relationship, sir, that is why probably you also have the paranoia as well. Okay, all right. And so the reality of the situation is you just killed yourself in that situation, bro, because by doing that, you've now outed yourself too, right? You were a cheater in your past relationship, severally cheating, okay? And you've been in situationships after the relationship for her. So Yeah, in that sense, bro, you this part, and this is why I said that your anger, it's all right to be angry, but you must be understanding that your anger, you don't want it to get to a place, okay? You don't want your anger to get to a place where it now dictates your movement. What you want to do is make sure that in that place that you actually let the anger subside, go away, and then make decisions so that you can have a more calmer mindset.
Yeah, my early 20s. Everybody know this. I said this from the beginning.
Oh, that was early 20s? That was early 20s?
Yeah, my early 20s. Duh.
Oh.
All right. But look, check this out. All right, look.
Oh,
go. You still talking? Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm done.
So, all right, you said about this old friend thing and all that's right. Let's ask Juju if any of his exes could bang my line right now and get in contact with me. Can they? No. Let's ask Jojo that. Can any of your exes call you right now? Do they still got your number? Do they still got access to you?
Wait, I'm confused because he started saying about the friend situation. Is he saying the comedian was not a friend? The comedian was an ex? Because that wasn't. Yeah, that was. It's got twisted quickly. And it's, again, when we're angry and frustrated and we're hurt, we can do this when we come to arguments where we're not taking our time with it. So now, because I'm not even sure what he's addressing in this point specifically. I know what he's addressing, but I don't know. It's not lining up the way I need to address it. So I want to make sure that that's also in there as well.
Be honest. Keep it honest.
Here you go.
Yes or no?
Excuse me. He feels like when you're done with someone, because he's not as mature as he think he is, that you have to block them. Like, if they have my number, what can I do about that? Guess what? I'm in control of what I do with my body and with my phone. So if they call me, do I have to answer? No.
Now pause it. She's absolutely right. No, pause it. She's absolutely right. Listen, they have your number. They can do whatever they want. But can I be honest with you? None of my exes are calling me. And they shouldn't. No, I'm joking. If you need something, of course I will be there. I'm single, so I can do whatever I want. But if I'm in a relationship, I can't think of any times my exes have ever called me. And I can't think of any times I've called my exes while I was in a relationship. You get what I'm saying to you? And so I'm like, okay, I get what she's saying. Exes do have your number. I'm not saying you have to block them, but if they're calling you and it's a consistent calling, you might have to just ask the question, why are they still calling you? You know what I'm saying to you? Why are they still calling you? Okay. And so, yeah, that may be some issue. But again, like I said, the start of this conversation is a little bit tricky. I feel like it's a little bit tricky because we're not sure where we are.
If they text me, do I have to answer? No.
So are your exes still contacting you? Is that what he's trying to say? Like, you're
absolutely
still...
not. They contact. Oh my!
I'm gonna let it go.
He really doing it. He really doing it.
So, your last situationship, dude ain't call you, and you feel like you had to give him some clarity.
Ooh. Damn. Okay, so the last situationship she had, did they call?
You talking about before I knew you? Yeah.
Before you went on the show, the week before you went on the show, the dude you was just dealing with, because we was all under the impression you ain't dealing with nobody in 2016.
Okay, wait. So her ex situation. Wait. Her ex situationship called her before the show, though. So it wasn't while you're with her. Because this is why I don't like. That's why I said I don't want it. I want it to be very clear. When it's not clear, it's annoying. Like she called the situationship called you before you were together, before you guys got together, and then had a conversation and woo.
I had new discovery that she was just having sex with somebody a week before the show. What?
Damn, bro, you're outing her out a bit much, my guy.
You gonna tell me I was having sex with somebody a week before the show? You don't know what I was doing. I was dating somebody in July, early July.
You told me.
But
yeah, this is bro. That's a little bit too much, bro. I get you want to make the point, but there's a way we have to deal with that, man. There's a way that we have to go about that, because outing her like this ain't it. Right, it's showing again in the immaturity. Right, there could have been a different way you could have expressed this. Right, that saying, listen, hey, look, there was intimacy. Because when you start saying that, it just sounds very raw, in that way. And that's what I'm saying to you. He could have still said it, but listen, look, you were in a relationship. It was physical with that person. So when you're talking about relationship and you're telling me this, but when you say sex like that and it's like, you're still, it just feels a little bit, So
I think the question was, so on the show, on Pop the Balloon, the question was, when was your last relationship? So are you saying that, Jojo, are you saying this guy he's speaking of was not a relationship? You were still just dating him?
Exactly, it was dating. My last boyfriend, like a real relationship, was 2016. This person he's talking about, I met them in the middle of June. I was done with them by the middle of July. If we were
Now I need that. Now this is where it gets a bit messy. Okay. Now this is where it gets a little messy. How you meet someone in June and by July we are crying. This is the part where I'm like a little bit like, you know what I'm saying to you. But he needs to just relax a little bit. He's doing a little bit too much. He's very animated, and I get it. It just never works for men. That's all it is. It's a bias, but for men, we can't do too much. It just doesn't look good for us.
Why would I apply for the show? And why would I apply for the show? Like, you talking about, because he called my phone, and I was like, this is done. I chopped it up, and ain't nothing else come from that.
All right, guys, do you think that, Julius, do you think that maybe you moved too fast, especially on the YouTube thing that you was doing? Because I saw you was uploading a lot of videos with her.
Yeah, so as far as like that, I feel like it was genuine. I thought it was genuine between us. I'm like, oh shit, this ain't no fake shit. So I'm like, because it's people out there that look up to that. They see genuine love and shit like that, so they want to follow behind that. So I told her, like, look, I feel like they like us, so let's show us our progress. Like, you know, like, and she was, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. At first she was kind of like, oh, I want to be private, but I'm like, I was a little confused about it, because I'm like, damn, we met on a public platform. Like, for me, everybody seen y'all match, so people gonna want to know, like, what's going on. So I'm like, if we met public, why you all of a sudden you want to be private? And that goes again with the little exes thing. They got her on her Instagram and stuff like that. So if y'all see, I'm posting her on my IG. I ain't got nothing to hide. Can't no exes say, oh, we still dealing with each other, none of that. No, but when it comes to her, she want to hide me. I'm like, bro, we was on the public platform. They know, like, we matched. So that was a whole situation. But as far as like moving too fast, it could have been like that. But then she ended up agreeing with it once she seen like the comments was good. It was like, oh, I'm rooting for y'all. Then she like, okay, is this something we can do then? But mind you, I'm only posting certain things. I still got the videos. If we talking about receipts, my receipts is long. So it's just like, okay. So it's just like, oh, all right. So you, at first you weren't cool with it, but then she ended up being okay with it. So
I got to pause it there because I've got to go to my coaching session. But listen, I think this is a case of both parties really painful, and you know, moment where they different objectives and different views. I think he liked her. I think he wanted to be with her, but I think he is hurt by what she's done. I think also at the same time, she's very much a guarded individual person. And so the game was played between his anxiety and her avoidance. And this happens quite a lot when people are anxious and then her avoidance. And so we're now having this tug of war. But the reality of the situation also is that he's going to have to take some responsibility and some accountability, because you don't have to stay. You know what I'm saying to you? But obviously this is within a month. So this is from July to August, you know. So from July to August, you know what I'm saying to you? Again, all it is that the investment wasn't matched by the person, but it requires conversation. Hey, I'm really feeling you. I'm liking you. Let's are we on the same level here? Again, that takes emotional security. So I'm gonna leave it there. We'll do part 2 a little bit later on. I'll probably come back in a few hours time and I'll do part 2 for you guys. But hope you guys like this as well. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. So we'll see you again soon. Much love.